Hey, everybody. Are we live tonight? Let me know if you can hear me. And can you hear my dog? Are we 5 by 5? You guys, I was so light mic'd on the podcast. Those of you who just ended up watching it with us, thank you so much for that. By the way, Johnny was absolutely so much fun, and we all had a great time over there in the chat. And so, are we 5 by 5? We are live, says Blind Squirrel Rocks, and so does Bob. And that Opal guy says, we are not muted. So, yes, and that is Foxglove. Good call. I just love that stuff. That was over at the lake that we have been hanging out at, trying to catch the wind with our wings. And so I can't handle the tooth. That's great. You guys are off to like a super good start here. Eric, the cat is in the house, still awake. Good for you. Thank you so much for coming. And Boot Jalokia is here. So good to see you. Thank you so much. And Randy the Sandmaker is here as well, dancing along. Right on. Gotta love those tunes. And let's see, we've got Jennifer here in the house, and she's saying loud and clear, thank you so much. I never know anymore because sometimes you hear it here and it's not going on over there. And we used to always on the radio, we would monitor what we had as far as our output goes, but there is not that option here. And so, as you saw during the live, or rather the podcast, I could hear in my earphones what Theo was saying, and yet y'all couldn't as far as the podcast or the platform, which was really weird and it had me completely stymied, but at least I was able to do my very best overdub. Which was very interesting. Oh, thank you, John. Check this out. We are off to an even better start. Your live and audio sounds better too. Yeah. Sorry about that. Unfortunately, there's like no way for me to double check while we are recording. It doesn't give me like an audio output, even like as far as an equalizer goes. So in my earphones, once again, I sounded fine, but then again, we hear what's resonating through our skulls a lot of times. Some of us hear even more than that, if you know what I mean, as far as voices and stuff like that goes. But at any rate, let me. I'm like grabbing past the UV light, and thank you, John, for your generosity. Really, really appreciate that. You the best. And it is good to know that one can be heard during the live. And Chris is in the house. Good to see you, Chris. And oh my gosh, here we've got another one. You guys are so awesome. Thank you. And so we are starting off the night right. And let's ring that bell again. It's the ozone bell, everybody. Uh, every time the door opened, another artist got its wings or something like that. And so, John, thanks again, and Bob, thanks again. And let's see, I think I said already hi to that Opal guy. Kathy's Rolling Rocks is here in the house as well. And I did see Melissa was back there up the chat. And we just rolling back and forth up and down the chat, just working it, as she always does. And Theo is back and stuff. What's the other stuff, man? I can only imagine. So, hopefully you didn't mind my overdub that I did during the live stream, or rather the podcast. I'm just losing track, you guys. We're in for a great little after party here. Thanks again, Bob, for your generosity. Really, really appreciate you starting off the night right. And It was a wonderful time, like I said, over at the podcast. If you did not see the Rockhound podcast this evening, we had Johnny on, and it was a really good time. So you can go and check that out after we're done hanging out here. We also tonight have some gem gazing to do. We're going to look at some of that stuff backlit, and then also under the microscope, we have some fossils as well. I got some crazy fossils laid on me yesterday. It was a huge surprise. We'll review some of that, where Opal Guy got the you can't handle the tooth quote there. We also have some news and other things to catch up on, so we'll get cracking here as soon as everybody lands, and it does look like everybody's at the very least landing on 2 feet, and I love to see that. Let's be rocking. I mean, shoot, all fours isn't bad either. It just depends on how you like to roam. It is a big tooth. Yeah, I can actually I think that's within striking distance just at this exact moment in time. There we go. It might seem larger than life. That is because it is a fossil and it's much bigger if I hold it very, very close. But this is I'm doing the Theo. This is a sperm whale tooth. It's fossilized and it was ethically collected, and it is old stock. And so all these things are true about this thing. Theo and I had a lengthy discussion last night about this stuff. It was collected. You can see there's like a little hole in it. It was collected by a friend of mine. He didn't actually do the taking of it, although he did get it because he was a scrimshaw artist back in the day in Alaska. And I looked up to make sure that it was okay for me to have it, and it is. And it's amazing. I've never really had one to hold of my own, and so it is Shark Week. It's Randy and Cheryl. So nice of you. Thank you for coming, and thank you for suggesting that gentle tap of the like button. I can't remember what you were said to have said, suggested to have said the last time, but she's being more gentle this evening. And let's see, Boot says megalodon tooth. Maybe like we have a war, like megalodon war against sperm whale tooth. We'll see who the winner is. And Spot says that's interesting. I was here early, but my ping didn't land me on the list this time. That is very interesting. I like if you are saying that I didn't say hi, then hi now. But otherwise, there's also been some weirdness as to notifications. I certainly have been missing some of those lately. And Ope Rocks is here in the house. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. And hey, if you'd like to check out the Rockhound podcast that we were talking about, we just did one. And I should probably put the link in the description. But any of my wrenches, if you guys want to throw that up, maybe OPE can have a look at that. If you guys wouldn't mind getting a link and tossing it up here for that Rockhound podcast that we just did. We usually do those like every other week. Sometimes it goes a little bit longer, sometimes a little bit shorter than that period of time. It's always on a Friday night, 6 o'clock. And since it's summer and we're all super busy with our rock related interests and afflictions and addictions, and being out there hounding and mining and working all of the studio stuff, sawing and cutting and polishing and all the good. uh we do miss a Rockhound podcast every here and there, and so you can go ahead and check that out if you have a chance. And the plesiosaur. All right, like yeah, we've got some serious tooth wars going on. Karen, it like, wait, here we go. It looks like one of the teeth I just had extracted. Oh gosh, John. That would be quite impressive. Like a saber tooth John. That's a lot of tooth. I'm wondering A, what your maw looks like now with a this big gaping hole, or B, like how big is your face? And that must be one incredible smile that you've got in that regard. Um, I hope that you're feeling better, John, from all those extractions and all the things that you had to be on afterwards. I know that that's a incredibly hard time to have. No sperm whale. That's a hard battle to win for the sperm whale. Leviathan Melveli, on the other hand, yes, the big white whale, I believe is what Theo is talking about. I hope. Or else I'd have to retract that strange thing I just said. And we have a great wisdom tooth. Yes, we're starting off the live wisdom wise, just right from the get go. Dub is here. Very good to see you. Thank you so much for coming, man. And Jay Hick is here. Welcome back. I think you were up in these parts for a little while, and are you back down to where you usually hail from? Would love to hear about your trip. And thank you so much, John, for throwing up the link. For everybody who hasn't seen the podcast yet, you can go ahead and follow that link when we're done here. And Melissa did put it up as well. Thank you so much. You wrenches are awesome. The most awesome wrenches ever. And Sean is here also. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Wow. I guess it is late some places. You know, the farther you go east, the later it is. Hi, everyone. Already in bed. I'll try to watch as long as I can, and we'll try to either be interesting enough to keep you awake or to create some wonderful lullaby where you can fall asleep looking at gemminess. One or the other. We are going to be putting some stuff underneath the microscope. Like I said, we're going to be peering into a pile of gems that I have to my left right now, looking at things that we would like to facet. And so if we were playing Jeopardy, that would be, can I have things that I would like to facet for 400? And I can't agree with this enough. Size only matters in the bank account. And you know, I love to drain it. It's kind of like a refreshing thing, you know. I go and I hang out at Kyle's, or you go mining and you need to spend some money, what have you. Yeah, it seems like it's always kind of like the tide. It's either in or it's out. That is the different things that happen in my bank account anyway. And let's see. Usually if I post even just the dot, it gets me listed on the participants list. I'm not entirely sure what the participants list is, as far as if it's when you're getting shouted out, or if you see something going on in like a window of the live. I am confused because sometimes I miss people, and oh my gosh, you guys know that I miss all sorts of stuff when y'all are having like wonderful chat. It's like blurring by, zooming by while I'm trying to make words and all that kind of thing. And so uh you'll have to let me know. And Theo says I was maybe referencing the fact that Meg would win a fight with a sperm whale, but there is evidence to suggest that they did in fact lose fights with Leviathan, the monstrous size Miocene sperm whale relative, which would be the guy that was hanging out at that time, right? I mean, that fossil, this is a fossil. And so maybe we're looking at that guy, the Leviathan, perhaps. And so, so big teeth, big interesting things going on here in this studio. I was so amazed. This friend of mine that gave me the box, is a good friend. We go hounding with them and traveling with them. And like I said, used to do scrimshaw, beautiful work, and has decided that they're not going to do it anymore. And would you like this stuff? And well, yeah. I'm not entirely sure I'm gonna do scrimshaw. Perhaps I will. I think I should try it. I have this vision for an octopus that would be neat, either as a scrimshaw or a carving, or maybe try one of each. I'm not entirely sure. But I was pretty surprised and amazed at what was going on in the box. I mean, totally out of control. And I did put it, it used to be right behind me, and that's why I keep on kind of checking my six there. It had some things that I need to check out before I even go and show y'all. I haven't looked at it all yet closely. Pretty amazing. And so, oh, I see. There's like the three dots at the top of the chat box, and click that, and you get a menu of the participants. I see. Okay. Well, since I'm using the StreamYard platform, I don't get to look at that. I just get to see y'all, and I can see how many folks are hanging out. But it's, I'm not looking at YouTube right now, and so it looks like my mom is in the house though. Hi, she says. Hi, mom. I think you missed the podcast, but it's so good to have you over here. Unless you did see the podcast and you just weren't feeling chatty at the moment, I'm sure that sometimes you just want to watch. And for those of you who don't know, that's mom. And let's see, we have John here, internet related on how much bucks get distributed. Money for nothing and clicks for free. Yeah, that totally works for us here, huh? That is great. Very, very good. Very good. I see what you did there. And the okay listen says, I do the scrimshaw. Well, you're gonna get some of this, buddy, so that you can do some more and we can all look and be amazed. I don't know which of the channels that will apply most to. Maybe the Sticks and Stones guy. So oh dear. And Sandmaker is freeze framing, and I don't believe that that's me, unless it is. Uh, hopefully we none of us have to freeze. It's the summer. We like it being warm. It got weird today though on the Oregon coast, you guys. Like that mist came in, the fog. It felt like Stephen King. It got kind of chilly, so I'm wearing sleeves. And it went back to being Oregon basically yesterday, and some of the days that we had before were very summery, and there wasn't like a whole lot of wind. So actually, that's a little bit more Stephen King weird is when it's not being Oregony. What's going on? It's like 70 degrees and no wind. Before I go any further, what's in your moose, everybody? Stein Kearns to you and yours, and to your health, and to great rock hounding. And even if that's just rock hounding in your own collection, looking over all of your very best pretties, your very, very favorite pocket rock, whatever. And I know that mom would be having me say that this is Tony Ivy's work. He's over in Star Valley, Wyoming. And so, cheers to you, Tony, for making some of the best ceramics on the planet. We also have another friend that joins us sometimes here in the chat that lives just over the Coast Range from me, and his name is Kirk. And he's also a really talented ceramicist. Hopefully, I'll be having like a great big mug to cheers you from him there as well. Hey, wait a second. There's this. And then there's this, because mom's here. Well, we got to ring the ozone bell for that. Thank you so much, John. And here's the bell ringing for mom. Hey, mom, the bell's ringing. That means you got to come and hang out for the live stream. Thank you so much, John. Really, really appreciate that. Tiger Eye is also here, and that's great. So Chris is singing freeze frame. We're not dating ourselves at all with that suggestion. And Soul says, not freezing. Very good. And we have Theo saying, scrimshaw is the ancient art of carving cetacean and pinniped bones and teeth. And it's so exciting. And we have Sierra Hounder here. Mom, the moneymaker. Hi, everyone. Yeah, mom's my moneymaker. She didn't know. And awesome. Thank you for the information, y'all. And oh, I guess somebody did ask what is scrimshaw. It sounds like maybe a dance that you could do, or maybe a kind of clothing, or maybe a form of transportation. But Theo nailed the um the description or the definition there. Thank you so much. And let's see. I am getting caught up here. Mr. Travis is in the house. Cheers. And we love turtles up in here. Good to see you. And well, this sounds interesting. I've seen Scrimshaw on Datalate as well. Very interesting. And cheers to everyone. I did see somebody was, I think it was Melissa was drinking Kool Aid. She's drinking the Kool-Aid, guys. Watch out. And we've got this over here. Yep, I think technically any bone carving counts as scrimshaw, but it was traditionally done with whalebone. That's a rabbit hole I've wanted to go down for a while now. All right, well, the hole just opened up. One of the interesting things that I did find in the box was 2 packets of very heavy, uh, I would call them something, I guess it would, pardon me, have to be a pin, because a needle, I think, has to have an eye in it. So pins would be the alternative to a needle that doesn't have an eye, right? And there were many, many, many big kind of heavy duty pins. And what I believe those were for was the stippling on the scrimshaw, and perhaps either it's, I think that there's a method where it's filled in with ink, and then the other method is that they're heated, and I believe that you burn the stippling into the bone. And so either way, I was like, wow, even the pins. So I'm so tempted. I want to do a carving, and I definitely want to do like some of the traditional scrimshaw. And let's see, we've got this over here. Scrimshaw's scroll work, engravings, and carvings done in bone or ivory. Typically, it refers to artwork created by whalers engraved on the byproducts of whales, such as bones or cartilage. And so there is that. I like that. That's Kathy's Rolling Rock. Shaw Shake Scrimshaw. Scrimshaw Redemption. That's great. Okay, she's not drinking the Kool-Aid. It's just fruit punch. Okay, shoo. Because either that could mean that you've drunk the Kool-Aid, which that's never a good thing, or that you might be tripping balls later. And so, like, either way, we're going to know that Melissa is not headed for doom. And let's see. We've got from Eric the Cat. Whatever you do, don't carve a treasure map on it. Give it a false patina and leave it in a popular beach area. Wink. I love the idea. Oh gosh, can you imagine? Am I really kind of thinking about it? Boy. Okay. Thank you for the idea, Eric. If that happens, don't tell anybody who gave us the idea nor whom did it. And we also have, I bet that smells great. Well, Theo did warn me actually about the smell, and how it should probably be done outside. Whatever it is that I'm doing, sawing it, working with it at all. Apparently, it's got like a 3-day hangover in your studio, and I can only imagine that it makes you smell as well. And actually, I have a little story about that. So here's this great big box. I mean, it's a big box. It's a treasure box of wonderful things. And I pushed it outside to record our podcast last night. and it was just sitting outside the door of my studio. Well, you guys know I have 3 dogs. And, well, those are bones. Even if they're fossilized, there was quite a bit of, like, bone or tusk material or what have you, tooth material in this box of a variety of different, creatures, I believe. And I came back out when it was done, and when our podcast was over being recorded, and somebody with opposable fingers and thumbs had opened up the box and got into one of the bags and decided to start chewing on one of the little tusk guys or tooth guys, and it stinks so bad. And she had quite the breath also. So there was no question as to who the culprit was that had gotten into the box. The two boys kind of looked like, "Ooh, somebody's in trouble." And then I don't know about your dogs at your house, but our dogs, all 3 of them have their tells. None of them have poker faces. So when they're in trouble, they know they've done something bad. They definitely have a tell. And I looked at Lily, and not only did she have her tail going on hard, but all I had to do was get close to her, and her breath was bad. And so, sure enough, we had somebody sampling the new fossil material as well. Just a public service announcement to keep your fossils as such away from dogs, because she thought that it was like well aged for her. I'm sure. And so, what we have here, Theo says, I've worked with bison teeth before, and it's a special level of smell. It's the kind you don't forget. Yeah, like the horror. The horror. Yes. Um, and let's see. Um, what is this? Bob, you're gonna have to let me in on what is that. Meerschaum? Somebody can perhaps fill me in. We had, like I said, Theo and I were having a interesting discussion over that the exotic woods are somewhat similar in the rules as far as law goes for possession. Many of you are probably scratching your heads about like what is the big deal, but you might also know that having some kinds of fossils is okay, other kinds of fossils illegal. Also, it's known that these items also are known as ivory, and you guys all got to know that most ivory is illegal on the market, like the elephant ivory and then sperm whale ivory, I believe, like 80s and 70s. But then there are also ways that you can own them legally. And so we were checking into all that. And coincidentally, Russian olive wood, gorgeous, but good Lord, is it stank wood. And usually I just love woodworking because, it's such a yummy smell. And here with the rocks, like amber is such a yummy smell when you work that. And so obviously this is not going to be that kind of a pleasure. Um, and let's see, I'm kind of hoping that we get to see what that word meant that Bob had for us. And oh no, just think of it going through the doggy digestive system. Phew. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys out there know healers. These are Queensland healer dogs. And they have the tendency to be pretty gassy and with fortitude already. And I'll leave it at that. So it should be interesting to see what happened. We needed doggy Listerine. Absolutely. That would have been helpful. Thank you. Um, oh, here we go. And meerschaum is soft clay-like material consisting of hydrated magnesium silicate found chiefly in Turkey. Very cool. A tobacco pipe with a bowl made from meerschaum. Okay, and so I think I can now picture that. That is super, super neat. I'm sure that we would all love to see you work it and then see what the spoils therein uh, happens. And good to see you, Rocky. Welcome in. And we have here Eric the cat says, my mom has an old Japanese netsuki carved ivory. It's an interesting signed piece. And that whole old market stuff, like if it was traded and purchased, uh kind of grandfathered, is all completely okay to have. It's just I was checking on all the rules of, say, having it now, if I did something with it, and what would be commercially viable or not. um mom has an inside track on what goes on in this household, and Lily, yep, I do still love her even when she chews very old bone. Yeah, she's still lovable, I think. But yeah, she loves something good to chew. And usually we get them bones, and so she probably thought, well, I'm just getting into this bag of bones early that they got for me. I'm sure this is for me. Smells so good. Um so true, mom. And so apparently Bob says that it's also called a sepalite. Very cool. All right. And it's definitely good to know the rules. Yeah. I am paranoid. I so want to be on the right side of things always, that I like to check out rules. If I'm going to show it here, I want to make sure that, I'm not uh incriminating myself. I don't want to own stuff that's not to be owned, if it needs to go someplace else, all of that. So it's good. Good to be in the know, good to know that everything is okay. Yes, this is a thing. Um my best friend in middle school and high school did give me that nickname at one point. And really it's still there. So what we have going on here is, I'm going to go ahead and show you really quick some of these other fossils. So I'll do this and I'll get this over here, and here's some of the gemmy goodness that we can look at in a little bit. There are more of these guys, and so check this out. We've got these are wassail. They're wassels for Christmas. This is the walrus teeth, I think. And they are really interesting. These are fossils. So I was, actually just combining the two words. But you can see how I don't know if that's like natural aging, or if that kind of interesting texture happens, um like that's how they look for some of, how antlers can be all different. Is that a cavity? You have to wonder what was maybe going on for these teeth. They are very abnormal, not perfect looking. I mean, there are some that look a little bit more perfect. Here's one that might be a little bit more perfect, but this guy looks like he had a cavity too that might have been painful. Hopefully this isn't hard for you to watch, John, having just had some pretty hardcore dental work. um and so I'm gonna catch up here really quick. Looks like, all right. Yes, pre 1972 teeth for sure. And although I did see that ivory from the species that are not endangered is still okay to have, even for folks that are not indigenous, which is another thing that you often can be checking out. And so it's a good idea to make sure. And so really, really interesting formations. Yes, they do look like bananas, dried bananas, some plantains, anyone? And we are going to look at some of the cut pieces of what I believe is some of the walrus uh, ivory from the tusks themselves, because we have a few of the cross sections here. And so check this out. How interesting is this? You can see some of the rind here, and these got sliced, and somebody even did a polish job on it, but they're very, very interesting in their texture and patterning, by the way that it looks like the tusk got whatever kind of circulation, I guess, or the way that, the calcium was distributed. I'm not entirely sure. If anybody is more of an expert, I wanted to share this stuff with you and did not really have a chance to do much research ahead of time. So if you know stuff, then definitely let me know. And yeah, they also look like dates for sure. Like I would hate to be, getting ready to chunk into, bite into a nice succulent date and bite into one of those instead. So this one looks like it's got some of the saw mark left on the backside. And once again, you can see how really interesting that structure is on the inside of this bone. Kind of spongy. Now, I believe it was Theo that was talking about this earlier, that deer bone is really spongy. And I'm wondering, these are obviously really hard and they are fossilized. Um, but it looks like at one time, maybe when they're being grown, they kind of maybe have a sponginess to them. You can see that there's some delivery areas, these wonderful who knows, maybe that was those circles delivered blood down through. I'm not entirely sure, but really, really cool. And so we're gonna have a look at this underneath the microscope. Um, I do have something loaded into the microscope also already, and when we had Allison on, um, she gifted us some really, really interesting, uh, just incredible, um, fossils, and one of the fossils that she, gifted us, was this, belemnite, I believe, and that she had collected in her area. Let me kinda cruise away from, we are looking down the middle of it, and those guys, when we were having that live, you guys were helping each other to know what it was that we were looking at. And, it turns out that these guys are kind of like the squid, but they're l- long and or kind of like the ammonite, but they're long and cylindrical, kind of like a squid. And so this is our view. Let me take this exposure box away. And so you can see that we've got some pretty neat calcification going on the inside of this. And so I just wanted to give us a pretty look into the crystals. We'll go back to being close. But also, since y'all are here, and some of you guys deal with these quite a bit, there's this perfect circle down here. That's part of the fossil. What is that? Is that also a blood delivery system for this, like a fluid delivery system? I'm not entirely sure, but look at how perfect that circle is. And so maybe Theo can chime in on what that is potentially. And we also have, whoa, that would be the dentin on the inside and enamel on the outside. That's really cool. I'm not sure, but we're about to look at those a lot closer. And so any dentists and or um walrus experts and or fossil experts can definitely chime in on that. I would love to know also. And yes, definitely super neat. And Jake is calling for a cabot. And I believe you were talking about that those wonderful slices, and I believe that that's kind of what they were doing. I think that they created um art pieces out. Let me see. I guess I can't do that. They created art pieces out of the uh, different slices. So maybe you could do like a more of a cameo, smaller uh, piece of the scrimshaw to be worn like a necklace or a bolo tie. We've got some little, we had like a gnat explosion here at the coast. I don't know if anybody else is having a bunch of flying friends also, but so you'll have to excuse if something's flying around in between me and you. But yeah, so there's these slices that would be super interesting to cab, I think, kind of overexposed there. There's probably enough meat on that's what could happen with it. Um, I mean, and they're pretty light. It would be cool to do some inlay into them, and so they definitely offer a range of possibilities to play with. I'm absolutely blown over at the box. I like I said, I haven't even been through it all. It just kept on kind of going and going, and there was a lot to it. And so Theo was typing. Belemnites are shelled squid, cephalopoda, but not closely related to the ammonoidea or nautilids. The perfect circle is the siphuncle, which is the tube that runs the length of the body and helps regulate, and that's probably to be continued. You just wanted me to say all those hard words, didn't you? I love the technical terminology, but woo, definitely twisted my tongue. So that's the circle that Theo was talking about. Super, super awesome to know about that. And thank you for that. And yeah, burning bone is super stinky. I'm wondering, hey, Mr. Turtle Montana, thank you so much for coming. You might be a little bit behind also. And yes, she said that. And siphuncle is a fun word. I know if you say that enough times, you're definitely wondering to yourself, am I even saying a word anymore? You ever do that? Especially late at night. Words always strike me strangely like that. And does lymph flow through the bone? Is that a lymph hole? Interesting. Well, yeah, helping regulate. So that sounds like that's what perhaps that does, running the entire length of the creature. That is so cool. It's so neat to kind of know what their ancient anatomy was like, and then look at these fun crystals that are in there. And so let's get closer. Perfect little crystal that we're zooming in on. Look at that. You can see all of that growth structure and everything. And I'm gonna bring our little exposure back there, yeah, so that it can auto expose for us. We can get rid of that now, and look at that. How pretty. Beautiful lines of growth there. And we have, even more interestingly, it actually does not fill gas into the chamber itself, but alters the saline content of each chamber. More salt means heavier, less salt means lighter, so they can move. That is fascinating. Wow, Theo, that is so cool. I mean, the technology of an animal being able to do that, not from gas, but like the salination of the water. That's like incredible. I love it. And so, and he's saying up and down through the water column. Wow, that is super fun. And Theo is like a professor. He is a wealth of knowledge. Yes, Jennifer, that is so true. So I'm gonna have to put like one of those professor garbs onto the shoulder devil there. But yeah, I guess you've got an honorary PhD there, Mr. Theo Kellison, as given by this community. Okay, and I'm a slow typer. They don't call me turtle for nothing. Nice. Okay, man, I got it. Fair, fair, fair enough. And we have the siphuncle is a strand of tissue passing through longitudinally through the shell of a cephalopod mollusk. Only cephalopods with chambered shells have sifuncles. Now, you not only have a new word for Scrabble, but you just thrill your audience at parties with some of this knowledge. You know that they're going to be super impressed. So very, very cool. Thank you so much. I love it. Dudes like Walking Britannica. Yeah, boy. And we have, thank you, Jennifer. I wouldn't say I'm an expert. It just happens to be an area of study. I'm extremely familiar with marine animals. Ah, my jam. Oh, yeah. And they're attracted to him. Like, he comes out here and stumbles around on the beach for a little bit and finds like the perfect fossil. So good. And John, thank you so much. Please remember to caress that like button like you mean it. No, really. All right. John is in rare form this evening. Thank you so much, John. Really, really appreciate that. And polish the like button, says Eric the cat. Yeah, that like button should be very, very shiny from y'all. Thank you so much, you guys. Very, very cool. And tickles my nerd brain in the best way. Yes, so so good. All right, and so let's see if there's any. We can get a little bit closer, and so we will. We shall. We shall. And I'll hit the exposure on that again since we're going deep dark into this cavern. And let's have a look around at maybe down the throat of this guy. Pick up some more. Focus. Oh, we're going the wrong way. Oh my gosh, that is as far as it goes. Wow. I guess it's probably too low. I would have to change the height. It's just way too far down there. That throat goes down so far. But I love the lining of all this beautiful little teeth that we have going on in this beautiful fossil that Allison Prairie Girl did share with us. Let me take that away one more time. Beautiful little fossil that she self-collected. And she probably is jamming right now with her band. And so we miss her, but we thought of her this evening. And so we'll take that down for, we'll take that down for a second. And we are going to put one of these guys on the microscope so that we can have a look at these. Now, what's interesting, I think, is that this is similar, I guess, to what we were just looking at as far as, all of this biology for transit systems within the animal. One down the chambers, and in this case, we're going down the tusk, I believe, and so getting some. Now, Rocky had mentioned before. Let's hit this exposure again. Something about the enamel. And so again, I'm not sure, but it does look like, oh, that's so cool. It looks like burlwood. It's so interesting the repeating themes that we have in nature. So one has to wonder, are we looking at a rim of what might be the enamel, and then all of that inner goodness? And so I'm just catching up here. The original submarine ballast tank. Yes, definitely. Very, very cool. And we have taking advantage of differences in the properties of water salinity. Yes. And manipulating it and using it for the organism's own purposes could be considered a form of technology. Wouldn't you think so? I mean, it's staggering to think that this ancient creature had all that technology. I mean, that is so, so cool. We have. I can't hear the word Tusk and not think about the worst Fleetwood Mac songs to get airplay, Tusk. Bring in the marching band, John. Sorry. I know how is it that they could ruin a word? That's not fair. Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in to take your mind off of it, shall we? And you can see, it looks like this piece got sanded and not polished, and that's why I decided to select it, because those ones that have a polish on them actually were throwing enough of a glare that it was kinda hard to see, and so we'll just check out this guy where we can kind of hone in on some of the details, and we can even cruise around this a little bit and see some of the different parts and the way that they look, bring that into better focus. I like the edge there. What's going on with the transfer of that color, and you would have to imagine, if it was discolored like that during their life, did these guys drink a lot of red wine and coffee? Or, what discolors their teeth or tusks as such? And then, um, this really, really interesting kind of mid area where the color is translating into the inner stuff, but you can see layering. You can see layering along this. There are lines for sure, and so I wonder if that's the growth of the enamel. How interesting is that? And once again, I'm just wondering if this is forms of circulation. Like, that looks very much like the thing that we were just looking at on the I always think of like Scott Bakula when Belemnite. I don't know why. But yeah. So I think that Scott Bakula has to play, Bakula Baculite Man on the Marvel series. How does that work? Um, oh, thank you, Mr. Turtle Montana has to say, speaking of mammals, did you know that milk is the fastest liquid on the planet? It's pasteurized before you even see it. Get it? You have to say it out loud to get it. Oh my gosh, that is definitely worth the price of admission on that particular joke. Thank you so much. Let's ring the bell. Let's ring the ozone bell for that. Thank you. Excellent job. Yep, you got everybody in the chat laughing there. And we have this. Thanks again, Mr. Turtle Montana. I really, really, really appreciate your support. Cephalopods are friggin' aliens. Yes, I have to agree with you there. Um, and so let us continue on this little tour. Whoa! I'm looking at the screen and my hand was away from that. And it's just a fly, but that totally, like, all of a sudden something's moving on my screen, kind of like the rotifers. Sorry. My gosh, I guess I'm a little jumpy. I think I need more of what's in this cup and less of the caffeine. More red wine, less coffee. But that's not actually what's in my cup. So look at that. let's get that a little bit more into view, and we can get closer. Those are gnarly, interesting squiggles. And let's adjust our exposure to have a bit more light, I think. I don't know if that works. I don't know. I think that having a little bit more contrast was better. Kind of got it blown out. There we go. And that, I mean, it looks like they look like cut off bots, like it's botroidal. If I thought I was looking at a rock specimen, I'd be guessing that there was like a bunch of bots here. And we're moving into, I mean, it like looks like it should be fire agate or something. And I would be interested to talk to some folks that are a little bit, more on the professional side, knowing these materials, because I would love to know why all the color differences is, if it was, something that happened when it was fossilizing, or if these color differences um are just part of the way that the tooth was, or the tusk was put together. And look out, it's alive. I know. She's so she's just a hair trigger freaked out tonight, I guess. Yeah. Gonna have to do the replay so I can see that in slow motion with the fly, right? That should be good. And mom is applauding the pasture eyes milk. Yep. Great joke. You know what? Mr. Turtle, you have given my mom a new joke. I am afraid I'm gonna have to hear this one a few more times. Like, I can just see her just still laughing over there. Miss you, mom. I can't wait until you get to be here and you can tell me that joke again here, live and in person. And oh my goodness, here we have such a Marvel Die Hard, and it just gets worse and worse with every new thing. Yeah, right. That's why I had to mention that as far as like the Belemnite man. Like they're just running out of, like, I don't know. Honestly, I feel like it would be kind of like the Tick. And maybe it could be really cool, but then it wouldn't be Scott Bakula. It would have to be somebody else. Um, like the guy that plays Putty, and on Seinfeld, and was the Tick. He was so good. Here's some more of that, and then we'll get a little bit closer because there's some really fancy stuff going on there, and then we can move on. And I'm sorry that, like, the closer that we get, the more we're seeing the ridges from this cut job, or sand job, whatever it is. But like I said, it's probably better than the glare. And let's get some more exposure on this. That's actually maybe a little bit more, because I want to go down here and look at how squiggly that is right there. That's so detailed. Now that's too much exposure, so let's bring her back down. I'm just all over the place. So yeah, interesting. You never knew that there was so much going on inside the ivory, did ya? I don't know, maybe you did. I didn't. It's pretty neat. Really, really neat squiggliness. And we'll pan back out to kind of have an idea of what we were just looking at. Look at that. Just really, really neat stuff. And I have to thank my good friend Mike for laying this stuff on me, because not only is it going to be fun to play with, doing some carving or scrimshaw, but it is also fun to play with underneath the microscope. And while we take one good last look, I'll kind of pan us over to this interesting patch of fun over there. Get that into a little bit better focus. There we go. And catch up really quick here on the chat. And let's see. Still bummed out about the Marvel stuff. Aw. And let's see, we have, whoops, Steinkerns. Very good to see you. Mike, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that. And oh, here. Speaking of dye, I just realized I can use the UV beast to find leaks in cars with UV dye. So many uses. That is interesting. And actually the sun is starting to go down. I don't know. I didn't shine this on here before, but we'll kill the light. Wow, that really killed it. We're probably going to have to improve the exposure again. But, oh yeah, look at that. Okay, so let me get the auto exposure back up here. And, woo, there we go, kids. Whoa, there's some fun. It's like it doesn't know what to do with all this light. Let me bring that down again. That is quite glowy. That's some fun. That is what's going on. And so I will, this is one of those times that I should have glued or rather taped the UV light onto something so that I had something not wiggly to hold it on, because like the exposure is tripping out. But let us move this around a little bit, and it's really highlighting some of the layers in the way that this is put together. I think that's interesting. Yeah, look at that. It looks like a stormy cloud, or like a weird botryoidal amoeba, or something crazy. I like how fancy those get when they get to, the dark that we can't see is what I perceive to be the enamel. And then we're looking at all that juicy goodness on the inside. And there is what's going on up there. Just going to take it to the limit there. Very cool. All right. I'm glad I remembered the UV this time. Yay. And we've got another one. Uh-oh, warning, warning. We have another one coming in from Mr. Turtle, Montana. And do y'all know the difference between a hippo and a zippo? Hippo is big and heavy, and a zippo is a little lighter. Hey, thank you for that. Always a good time. Always good. All right, we're gonna bring that down. And actually, let's see. I'll put something else up, but I need to fetch something here really quick. We'll take a closer look at this bonanza hullabaloo of fun here. And you can see we've got our fun fossils, and then we've got all these gems, and some of them I wanted to look at with some backlighting, and I will catch that. Or okay, wait, there's even something better that I can leave you with. Here's this I was looking at this guy underneath the microscope, and we'll turn the light back on. This might make some of you agate lovers happy. So this is thank you again. Oh, we forgot I'm totally distracted by doing the job I'm trying to do. Yay, Mr. Turtle, Montana, thank you so much. We so appreciate your kind and wonderful amusement and humor. Thanks again. And here is this. This is one of the cabochons that I'm working on right now, a little bit of Graveyard Point, and we'll get a little bit closer. This is super fun. This is a druzy pocket, and this is only on, I think it's just on 600. And so there's lots of scratches. And so no, you can't judge. No judging. Okay. Yeah, you can see them pretty good. But let me bring the exposure up on this. We'll look at some pretty agate goodness. Wow. I grab what I'm going to grab. Bring that up. How pretty. And get a little closer. Ooh. Druzy pockets and all kinds of meaty goodness in here. Aw, isn't that pretty? We'll find a pretty view and then I'll leave you with it. Although this is kind of what I do all day, you guys. I'm like, oh, okay, this one just keeps on getting better and better. I love it. See, there's a giant druzy pocket right there. I guess I could get that into some nice focus. That's probably it right there. Look at there's a little bit of lint in it. It's got lint in its belly button. All right, guys, be right back. Oh my goodness. We have this. Oh, Sonia. Oh my gosh. And thank you, Mr. Montana. One more for 10. she's buying a joke. This is like The Price is Right. Can I get a joke for 10, please? That's great. And Theo had some wise. Thank you so much, Sonia. Really, 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 really appreciate that. You know that it goes to powering this platform and these microscopes and all the fun that we have here. You guys are the very best ever. Hippos may be the only animal I don't like. They are the embodiment of the Theoden meme. Aw. I like hippos. I think they're pretty darn cute. They're weird. They're so weird looking, but I like them. I think they're cute. What's the matter with hippos? Oh, Mr. Turtle Montana. Which is heavier, a gallon of water or a gallon of butane? Water is heavier because butane is a lighter fluid. We have all these weight related jokes. Where did I just put my okay? Can't have gone far. Thank you, Mr. Turtle Montana. Ring that bell. All right, sorry about that. That's gonna totally stop everything. Stop up the works right there. Drool agate, nice, Eric. Yeah. Oh, and Sandmaker thought he deleted comments. Ooh, I'm gonna have to go back and see what he said. Thanks again, Mr. Turtle Montana. You are the best, and so are you, Sonia. Thank you so much for provoking that. We have Meg is in the house. Just showed up for the lint belly button. Yeah. It's a beautiful agony lint belly button that we have going on right here. Yeah, this will be a fun one. Let's see, go back out. When it's finished, you can see it's on the silly putty there, but that's going to be super, super, super duper extra double fun. And yeah, it's got it's like I said, graveyard point, and so it's got all that druzy, the yellow and the pink. It's from the same claim that the what am I thinking of? The not royalty red. No, somebody help my brain. Regency red comes from, I do believe. And so I'm gonna change the setup here real quick. We can do this while I'm doing it. And so we're gonna backlight some of our gems to see who's going to want to come out and play. And what I mean by that is that I definitely need to see like what inclusions, if any, I am trying to be willing to deal with. And we've got, Let's see, some apatite and tourmaline and peridot. I know I need to definitely look at the peridot because peridot birthdays are coming up in August, and so I do have some requests for some peridot earrings and some peridot jewelry and stuff like that. And so maybe we'll start off with the peridot and have a look at these guys, and you guys can help to figure out if these are going to be ones that I attack soon, and if you have some ideas for what cuts might be nice, then I'm open to those too, and we'll see if we can't keep the flies away from this peridot. And if you haven't done a whole lot of gem gazing as far as picking things to cab or to facet, then hopefully this is also helpful in some kind of ways, so that you perhaps in the future know what you're doing if you should ever need to do some. All right, so trying to move the subject into the right range. And here we are with some lovely, lovely lumps of peridot on here. And there's going to be some different focal ranges. And so some will be in view and some of them won't. This is some peridot that I got from Nira. And we haven't seen a whole lot of her lately. Hopefully she'll return to YouTube at some point. Um, Meanwhile, we've got some pretty fun rocks. Now we can look at them this way and go, yep, they're all super cool, looking very pretty. I don't mind inclusions in my rocks as long as they're not like the fractury kind. And so if we've got I believe peridot has a fair amount of iron in it. Maybe some of y'all that are out there that are in the know can help me with my peridot, as far as if you know off the top of your head if it's the iron. But I have looked at it through the microscope as far as like um, my other more lab oriented microscope. I've looked at the gems. You can actually see in a peridot the suspended mineral, whichever one that is. And so let's see. And oh, do I have any sage to burn that keeps the bugs away? Oh, thank you for that suggestion. Actually, I do like to collect sage where it's legal to do so, and I love burning it. And I'm a little low right now, which is bad because usually it's a great time to get some is in the spring, which I kind of missed. And so, yeah, we're going to do the backlighting. We'll be backlighting here in just a moment. And I'll try not to, I won't fry your eyes. I'll go ahead and bring that down while I turn the backlight on and the top light off. So what the difference here for those of you who are into microscopy, which sounds like a procedure more than anything else, we have dark stage and then we have light stage. And so the dark stage is what we were just looking at, where you have a lighting from over the top. And then dark stage or light stage is when you get your light from the bottom. And so, oops, I've got it on motion sensor. We don't want that. Actually, I saw somebody had posted that they were using a camping light that was on motion detection when they were faceting. And so every time they brought their quill up to look at it, it would make the camp light go on and illuminate the gem better. So they had their regular lighting, and then they had the camp light, which I thought was actually quite a genius maneuver, and I might even try that. And so here's something for me to ask you guys while you're hanging out. Would you like I've asked once before. I'm gonna ask it again though. I'm gonna lighten this up also. Um, would you like for me to facet during a very informal live stream? Because it's boring, you guys. But if you want to watch, I'd be willing. So it looks like this lump here that we're looking at right there is actually pretty darn clear. It looks like we have like a dark inclusion. Um, let's see if I can right there. I hope you guys can see my hand. If you can, yeah, yep, I can see. Okay, so right there is something to watch out for, and we're gonna need to move it around a little bit to see. I should have brought the good tweezers over here. I might have to go fetch those really quick. Um, and so, like, so far, I'm not seeing like any huge fractures. I think I'm seeing just the topography right now. One of the ways that you can check to be sure if you can't see it visually and through the microscope is actually you can immerse this into an oil that has a similar refractive index, and that will actually help you see through the stone. Also, those of you who have seen my sunstone video, the one that I guess I created last year, that one has the sunstones in the wintergreen oil, which has a similar refractive index, and it's like looking through a X-ray machine for your rocks, which is super cool. So I might have to do that. And let's see. Talking about moldavite, awesome. That sounds really cool. And um whoa, here we've got Theo talking about showing the Le Chatellierite, like with the Lier, it feels like it should be French. Inclusions now, they are way too small to show on camera without the microscope. Well, yeah, like, well, you should do that. And Miss Max says, would love that, Miss Karen. And I did see some yeses. And Theo's talking about being seriously addicted to his his magnification, and boy, howdy. And yes, do it. I see a bunch of yeses. And so um this is great. I mean, we watch Kyle pack our goodies. So yes. Well, there's something like super duper. I said it in the last time that we had Kyle live packing, is like it just felt like voyeuristic, like, oh, what is so and so getting? Oh, look at all those fun things. Oh, the pretties, and so that yeah, that is actually pretty entertaining. And yes, more informal even than this, which would mean that I don't have stuff really set up, and I'm just going through the motions of doing the faceting because I'd have to be concentrating. I'd probably not yammer on. I'd put some music on, which might be actually really nice. And here we go. We may need to do microscope live streams. Yes. We could call it the Microzone with Ozone Fine Art Ventures. I don't think that's been taken yet. Yeah. Yeah, we do the Microzone. We do the Microzone right here. In fact, let's see. Hold on a second. Let me fetch it. Um ba-ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. There. See up there in the corner, left-hand corner up high? Microzone live. It happens. It's already happened. But yeah, that we could do that. We could definitely do that, Theo. Would love that. So we're doing a Friday Night Live Microzone live right now, apparently, because here we are doing the microscope. I'm gonna grab the my not tweezers, but the things so that I can pick up the thing. Hold on just a sec. And I just soldered with these, so they're probably going to be kind of charcoaly. So do excuse them, but let's grab that. And it looks like if we kind of rotate that around, that it's pretty clear. And I believe that we can even get closer, so we shall, and we'll move everybody else out of the way for a second. This is this is a pretty big rock. I'm just gonna guesstimate that, for my peridot standards, I don't work with very, very many big, 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 big rocks because usually they are spendy, and it's even can be kind of hard to get good material from vendors, say online, that you trust. And so I still need to make some of those networking things happen. And so I get what I get and I don't throw a fit at this point. So let us take some more of a look. I'm going to just kind of turn this guy over, hopefully not messing with our depth of perception too much here. Uh, Plop it over on the other side. Bring it back into the frame. Ooh, yeah, that's looking pretty clear. We're seeing that inclusion on the other side, and it doesn't look like it's terribly embedded in either. Let me go back to the comments and hide that one. And let's see, get crispier here. Yeah. So if we were looking at a bunch of fracturing, so this guy, I'm going to put this to the side because that one you guys are going to see happen. And before I do put it to the side, as we're still looking at it, I would love to know, what cut do you think would be good? Um, she didn't catch the sarcasm. Sarcasm does not come out well over the chat now, does it? Like, here we go. It's fine, honestly. We should do a collab and have microscope showdown. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, dueling microscopes absolutely does have to happen for sure, Theo. Like, shoot, we could either do like a thing or a channel or whatever, but that would be the best time ever. Um, and okay, so here it is. Yeah, I don't know how many of these you've seen, so I had no idea. Like, you're a busy boy. You might have totally missed that there was a microzone and thought, like, you know what? That's like a great name because it's totally common. I mean, microzone, like, it doesn't take that much to think of that. Like, I'm saying that about myself as well. And Rocky Mountain Bear TM'd that a long time ago. And so he's okay with Theo being on board, right? Yeah, because he does have a pool. I think he has more than 15% ownership of that name. So funny. And yeah, let's get the wheels moving on that. All right. And so shape, what cut do you think would be good going into this? That, like, as we're looking at stuff super duper close, this is usually what I'm up to at this hour, even, just without like all y'all on board. And I'm looking at this thing under the microscope. I've found out that it looks like it's pretty good, as far as it doesn't look like I'm going to be dealing with any huge inner fractures or anything like that. Just a few of these dark inclusions, which I don't mind even if they end up inside the stone. So now I would be trying to figure out, okay, what shape does this guy want to be? And so who Okay, we have a vote for a pear cut or an emerald cut. I have a vote from Mike for Microzone Showdown. You know, it would be so, so much of a hoot. And we should really do that. Yeah. I think that would be so, so much freaking fun. All right. And let's see. Looks like somebody, Eric is hitting the hay. So thank you so much for joining us for so long. And we have perhaps add a microzone to the Discord. Ooh, uh-oh. Yeah, that's gonna happen. Thank you, Cynthia. That is happening as soon as I get off of this here live. That's a great idea. I love it. And I can't wait to see what you found in the shale. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yay. Okay, we're doing it. And you get that dank 15% royalty. Well, like it's going to be so successful that we'll, just have more coming in than we know what to do with. And so yeah, 15% will be like nothing. Just peanuts. All right. So, ooh, and Melissa says pixel cut. I'm not entirely sure this guy is going to be big enough for a pixel cut. I'm going to have to say that right. Um, yeah, I could give her a try. I would love to do like I haven't done a pixel cut yet, and I think it would look so good in Peridot. So I agree with you 100%, Melissa. What I think I probably should do is practice on a much bigger stone. I have this huge bag of quartz. Here, let me bring this up here for a second. Check this out. And maybe somebody is going to recognize their own writing. Hey, whose writing is this? Look at these. And so I think that I might need to try it first on one of these guys. I'd want to start off with a stone about twice the size of the peridot because I have a feeling I'm going to need to cut down quite a bit. But I love that cut so much that we're definitely going to want to try it. And it looks like Melissa read Theo's mind. And so I'm going to definitely be looking at that. We've got concave. Anything looks great in that material. I agree so much. And I want a concave cutter so bad it hurts. And so, Karen's going to be a very, very good girl for as long as I possibly can. And maybe, Santa will bring her one or something like that. And so here we go. Cut an olive in a shape of a pear. Moreover, Jimmy Buffett, it's 420 somewhere. Nice. Yeah, Cynthia, I promise that I will definitely do that. It'll be a whole nother channel just for the microscopes. Yay. I can't wait to see what everybody does. And here we go. The shoulder devil says, Karen, do a quartz pixel. I sent you a bunch of quartz. Do one. Yeah, that's your bag. Theo's writing. And hey, Theo, do I have a diagram for that already? Did you already send me that in the batch? I do have like a bunch of files sitting around that need to be ripped. And I can't remember if one of those is a pixel cut. And here we go. Peridot is magnesium iron silicate. Yeah. And so that would be the iron hanging out in there when you get a chance to see the minerals in the microscope. And so what I will do, I will cut this bad boy, or obviously maybe many of these guys, and then we'll put them under the other microscope. I've been meaning to dust it off, and I also want to put the other lens on this one, which will let it go all the way up to 90. We're only looking up to 40, and then the other one goes up to like 1,000. So we don't need that. Like I think by 100 or 200, we're seeing what's inside. Okay, you definitely did send me the pixel cut, but I can do it again. Well, if you know where it is, I would take it. I have to look through my paper. Honestly, I have these clipboards like literally surrounding me, and they all have like several diagrams a piece on them. And so I've either cut what's on them or it's getting ready to be cut. Like I copied it off with the full intention of getting to it. And so we have a winner. Winner, chicken dinner. I'm going to put this guy aside. But you can see, like, other than, that I'm yammering on, this stuff takes time. It like you definitely, I was going to move this guy over and we can see how fractured this guy is. You can really tell when something is not going to make a good candidate. Way back, I think I saw My mom said facet demo would be really cool. Facets? Yeah. Okay, so even mom says it's gonna be good. So I'll definitely do that, you guys. Um Yeah, big face palm here. I send her patterns like every week. It's true, you guys. He does. And then I definitely I haven't for a while, but she used to get a pattern done like every 6 to 9 days. Yeah, we were talking a lot about faceting, about a month ago, maybe even a little bit more recent, but both of us got slammed with summer and both of us have been woefully absent from our faceting machines, and that has got to change. And that's why I'm thinking, shoot, I'll just sit down at the faceting machine with y'all and get that faceting thing done while we're all just hanging out. And if you say that, it's as good as watching, Kyle pack things, then alrighty. So we're gonna get this guy out of the way because that's obviously way too much of a fracture to deal with. And oh man, I got some interesting advice from somebody online about how to deal with the fractures that you see the in the Ethiopian opals, like if it's already crazed. And I wonder if Theo's ever done this. I haven't had a chance to really talk to you much since I embarked upon doing all the fun opals, which are also sitting all just to my left here. You can almost see them. They're right there. So you can see this little guy right here looking fantastic, tiny but fantastic. Will make a great accent stone. Remember that these guys will lose like a third or more of their weight. And so if it starts off kind of on the small side, I would say that that's, I don't know, 10, like I was going to say 10 millimeters, which equates to about a centimeter long. And so, yeah, it's going to be small, but again, maybe a marquee, you guys, this one might be nice for like a small marquee, or I can, there's always the standard round brilliant, or you guys know that now I can do those. Uh, I want to say trillium is not a flower, but it's the like that triopic blast that I keep on doing. Can do that in my sleep now, and I love the way that the peridot look with that. Um, Big peridot are so hard to find clean. It's always a joy to see them, right? And so, yeah, I've got some smaller ones here for sure, and uh, hopefully I can go for peridot. And so, yeah, it's definitely so good to see them uh, in a nice color and big enough to make a cool stone out of for sure. And we have Sierra Hounder saying, have new Beaver facet flap lap. I'm so intimidated to try to facet, have a lovely pile of sunstones too. Hey man, definitely get at her. And hey, Theo, have you done anything about yours as far as that video you were talking about? Because that would be probably helpful. And I think that actually Patrick Donahue Labs has an interesting video about doing some tweaks to I can't remember if he had a Viver one, but or Vever, however you say that. Uh, Getting into using that machine and having it be a good viable faceting machine. Apparently it's a fantastic flat lap, so you're off to the races as far as that's concerned. And you know that you can cab and hand facet sunstones. I did that before I had my faceting machine, and then moved on to having like the proper quill and armature and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, maybe in the chat you can pick up some good info. um and yes, I believe that you are correct. And I like did oh, somebody did a video about that not too long ago also. I'm like having an absolute brain space. Have a nice little pile of trillion cut stones, even a sunstone from Karen. Yes, I love the trillions, and thank you for having the word. We love it. Yeah, and, I still owe you another one, Melissa. Gonna have to like, seriously, Theo and I were talking about, like, needing to dive into the studio for, like, a matter of a week at least, like, without opening the door hardly, and just be able to immerse in fastening because it feels like it's gonna take that to catch up. I love having kind of an array of stones to choose from so that, when I'm into a project, you've got some different sizes and maybe some different cuts, and so if you're like, "Oh, I totally wanna do a peridot," then you know that, okay, well, here's a few parados that you can look at for possibly integrating. I'm going to put those ones that we were just looking at down here. You can see my fingers, and then you can see that these guys are pretty small, and we'll get a better view of that. But I thought a size reference might be nice. Those are the two winners, and one that's I don't want to call it a loser, but it's not probably going to get cut. This one's actually very, very clear and it's looking pretty good. I don't think that any of that fracturing is going to go all the way through, although we do have some wonderful inclusions, nice, dark inclusions, which looks like we have some of that iron up in there. And just from the shape alone, maybe a square or an emerald or something like that might be nice on this one because, oh, let me get that. What we're looking at is like it's already shaped. Like down there at the bottom is the triangle for the pavilion, and then we already have a table. And so I don't have to lose too much of this stone to like even get the preform in. And that's one great reason to choose a design that is, close to the shape that you've already got going on. When I hold it this direction, I'm worried about that fracture that's going up the left side. And so that's why we do this. And so we'll see. I might only get the other side of the stone, and then it's going to be very small. And a lot of times when they get really small, then it turns into a standard round or something really, really easy to cut. Those are just so easy. This is too full of um, uh, inner fractures, and I believe that this one might be as well. Not quite sure. Let me turn that over. I don't know. That might be all kinds of stuff on the outside. Another thing that sometimes has to happen is you might have to start your preform to find out what's on the inside. See what fractures you've got on the inside. I have gotten into cutting a stone. Actually, maybe it was my last peridot, and found out that it had a fracture that I hadn't seen yet, and a little piece cleaved off, and so I just had to recut. And that happens, and you have to not have any sadness. Oh, Melissa, I know, but you won't always be. And when you're not, then we'll hook it up. So, Melissa, you're in my thoughts as far as getting a big, beefy, shillery trillion still going. And Dan Hurd, yep, that's it. Exactly. He was the one that went and hit that Peridot Beach, and it was apparently super incredible. And Theo is saying, fantastic flat lab right off the bat. And it's very imprecise from the factory, which makes the fastening almost impossible. But I believe that Patrick tamed that beast a bit. And I think that Theo is working on that as well to make it so uh, it's a wonderfully accessible machine. So it would be so cool if it did work very well as well. So hopefully. And we've got Ranching Rock Wrangler. Oh no. I'm not on the YouTube side, so hopefully your comments are not being blocked. Are you on live chat and not top chat? Because sometimes that will, for some reason, I don't know why they have a top chat and the live chat, to be honest, but sometimes you don't see all the comments if you're on top chat. So you might want to check that. Oh, look it. And John already had that wise. And Sierra Hounder saw that video and missing half the pieces to facet. Oh, okay. It was not a geode cracker. the what you want to look at is Patrick Donahue Labs, I believe, is the channel, and he's got a video specifically on I think your machine. And if so, you're in luck because he is like scientist extraordinaire and did a great job getting that going. And let's see. We have my friend had serious issues with third brand new Viver electric smelting furnaces. Oh my goodness. So he made a video about it. Now Viver won't stop spamming his comment section. Oh no. Oh, that's terrible. I'm so sorry about that friend. And we were actually just talking about the rolling mill earlier. Like it's exceptional. So I think that it's hit or miss what's coming from those guys. I think that they're just like a selling umbrella, like that they probably distribute for who knows, many, many different entities. Um, let's see. And we have heard that a lot, hoping that they leave yeah, that they leave you alone. Yeah, I have a feeling that they are. I mean, and we've been singing their praises again as far as those machines are concerned. And yeah. All right. So I think that the other thing that I'd really, really like to look at with you guys really quick. So those guys were, I don't want to say losers. Oh, actually, we can bring this down since we're clearing that. And let's make this big. So not me, that. Okay, so you can see, whoops. You ever go to pick up something with tweezers and miss it? Oh, and I just shot that now. Oh, that's okay. Wasn't like that great. And looks like my light is not on down here. So let's turn the light on so that you guys can see. And so again, my fingers for size reference. These are the 3 that we decided would be good. These are the 2 that not so much. And I just wanted to look at these garnets really quick. They're absolutely a beautiful, 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 beautiful color. And I can't wait to make some pieces that are the peridot, the tourmaline that's right here, and then these garnets, because I think that that is going to be like such a drop dead gorgeous composition that like I said, I need to lock myself in the studio for like a week. I hope I'm not talking to underneath my arm. I need to talk. I need to lock myself in my studio for about a week and only fast it, not come out, and then I'll have a bunch of pretties to play with. So what we've got here are those garnets that we were just looking at. Look at how clear. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited because I just didn't know what the clarity was going to be. These are small stones, so mostly kind of accent. But like I said, they're going to accent the tourmaline, like the pink tourmaline, and even the Oliver multicolored tourmaline so nicely. Let's get this a little bit more into, there we go. And Dave is in the house. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. Hopefully you're having a wonderful Friday night. And it's great to see everybody, relaxed and not having to like pounce on the claim or the auction buttons. And so this here, right here, that is so clear. It's going to make a wonderful little stone. So I'm going to put that aside. That's going to be good. And I'd say that that one was maybe a centimeter by 5 or something like that. Let's get you back. Look at how clear. Oh my gosh. And so although the shape is kind of weird, and so we'll see what we can do. Although I have made some pretty small trillions, and so I know I can do that. And then of course, standard rounds are always easy to do when they're small. So I'm going to put that guy down here with the winner chicken dinners. And this guy is really thin. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get a stone out of that. And so these are actually from Lisa. And so I don't think that Lisa's here tonight. Where did she go? Was she here earlier, you guys? So I think she was over at the podcast. Did I miss her? And so I think that that might have actually a fracture through the middle, which would make that not really happen. Oh, I was gonna say that when I was working with the Ethiopians, I did get this suggestion online to actually take pliers to them, and like if it's got crazing, let it break, just break it. And then you can find out, how to go on further. And it turns out that also Pulitzer has done that, like just broken a stone. I think maybe he just did it with his hands, but I'm just not that like gnarly. That one might be, yeah, that looks like it might be okay on the inside. That's probably one to take a chance with. And look at how chunky it is. That's one of the reasons why it's got like nice volume. And look at this color though. It's such like this, it's pinkier than wine. It's just like a deep rose. I don't know. I don't like it's a purple red. I love this color so much. So we're gonna put that in the winter chicken dinner, or at the very least to try it. Because like I said, sometimes you get through the preform and you find out that you don't have a good stone. This one's thin and it looks like it might have some cracks. That might be surface stuff or it might go through. Not sure. Don't have to know for sure because it's too thin. This one's got some chunk to it, but look at that. It looks like a fracture right down the middle. So not so good. And we'll bring this guy on here. That guy, maybe. Although it's awfully thin. I think, whoa, and it's on the floor. So that one is a no. Some of these tiny ones, I guess I could make really, really tiny stones out of, but I'm more like, if I'm going to spend the time, I should probably be making small stones out of sapphires instead. Oh yeah, which we actually have some of those to look at too. I'll just go very, very quickly through these guys, and then maybe we'll get an eye full of sapphires and color good. And so, who wants to see sapphires or who wants to go right now? I'll take a vote. A Ron Burgundy. Yes, I love it. That's hilarious, Meg. That's great. And oh, it looks like Randy had to leave the building already. Raspberry. Yes. Yes. I like that. Raspberry garnets. That's what I've got. That does sound good actually. Having some I have some cherries upstairs. That is nice and thick. It's got some fractures to it, but I'm wondering if they are more superficial or if they go all the way through. I probably will preform just out of the hopes. Like there is a fracture going through on that left side, but that wouldn't be part of what I'd want to use. So I'm going to put that in the winter chicken dinner pile. And that's probably pretty thin, but that's got just phenomenal color. Some of these might, I should rose cut some of these. They could make beautiful, beautiful rose cuts, like, half a faceted stone. I'm going to do that. I think I'll do that because that is worth the time, and then you can just do something that's a little broader to the thin stone. I can use like the length and the height of it as opposed to the width. And check in the stash of sweets. Oh, yeah. And Theo is still talking about his Viver having to make major adjustments. Yeah, it's not an easy thing. But, if you don't have the money and you have the time to do the adjustments, then why not? Seems like a good idea. Oh, and Mr. Turtle Montana is ordering one of the kits that Patrick recommended. Excellent. Please, please keep us updated, either, on the lives or over on the Discord about how that is working for you. I am so intrigued and I really want to be able to point folks in the right direction because there's a lot of people out there that want to learn faceting. And so I want everybody to be fascinating and afflicted with this same, wonderful, passionate sport that we have here. I don't know what's going on up there. You see that big, I don't know, dark spot. The rest of it is so clear. but that might be a deal breaker. I'm not sure. That doesn't look good. That would have been a really nice stone, like a lighter color. Beautiful, beautiful, like colored rose, and is on the floor. So we'll move on. I've got a few to. Ooh, that is exquisite. That's a winner chicken dinner. I don't see anything wrong with that. Just some like little cloudy inclusions, which probably aren't anything. So that goes down there. We got some other kind of thin guys here. That's got beautiful color to it. And that doesn't look like it's got any problems either. That would make a nice little accent round brilliant. Put that in the winner pile. Who do we have here? That looks like it's got a fracture. How about this guy? That looks like it might have a fracture right down the middle. And I've got enough of them right now that I'm definitely able to, I've isolated some that I can work on. That one actually doesn't look bad either. I like that color. So I think that that's surface texture and fracturing, not on the inside on that guy. Look at that color. It's kind of purplier than the other guys. So we'll put that aside too. And if it falls apart, it does. I mean, these are small, so not that big of a deal. And so let me pan you back out. And that's what we were just looking at. And we are just going to look really quick and see, did anybody jam or jelly? That sounds nice. And Theo's going through what he had to do to bring it up to speed. Is the green I'm seeing really there, or the trick of the light? That is the trick of the light. I believe that that is just like what these guys are, um, uh, a strange combination of what the light of this light bar is throwing up, and they're reflecting it, and it is convoluting or confusing the camera in the microscope, I think, is the explanation for that weirdness. And so, really quick, I have these little sapphires from Prairie Girl. And oh, I should bring that down. So, well, I'll probably end up playing with all of those at some point. They're just so pretty that I'll probably try to squeeze something out. Like, listen to my tone. I'm gonna play with you anyway. And so let's bring those guys down, and we'll do one more. Put those guys over there. Remind me, you guys, I have 2 of them on the floor before I vacuum. I'm always so freaked out when I go to vacuum this room because there's silver and faceted stones and opals and all sorts of things that have fallen onto the ground. Usually the smaller ones I have trouble finding. And same here with these sapphires. I want to be really careful not to have them be going all over the place, because hard to find stuff. You're down on the floor with your flashlight trying to find it. And yeah, it's an excuse why not to vacuum for sure. Okay, so we're going to get this back up on stage. And these guys have a variety of different colors. They're all looking kind of greener, but some of them are truly green, some of them are sort of yellow, and I've got an orange one that's looking kind of dense over there towards the right hand side. We will move through this little, hey, Manny is here. Good to see you. What did you miss? Oh my gosh, tangents and yammering and all that kind of stuff. Me being slow, Mr. Turtle Montana telling some great jokes. And thank you, Melissa. You might have to send me that note over on the Discord a few times. And Theo's talking about needing a cabber so bad. Yeah, I accidentally went into our local shop here that carries some lapidary stuff to see if he had any cerium oxide. He did not, but he had a little cabber. He had a little genie sitting there, and man, if the tide was in on my bank account, it would have been in my house at this time. But not so much. Look at all of these guys look pretty clear. So, Thea, since you're in the chat right now, would you mind really quickly sharing what somebody might be looking for if they're looking for the imperfections in a sapphire, or do you have to kind of just get into it and you'll find out once you get her opened up? We're going to zoom in and you could just see as we're zooming in, like these two big ones that are right in our face, like so far so good. I'm seeing like outside stuff going on, but I don't see any issues. But then I don't know what I'm looking at so well. So maybe Theo can help us out here. And meanwhile, we have raspberry jalapeno jam. Are we even kidding me now? Oh my gosh. My neighbor brought over it was around Thanksgiving, and she makes jam, and like a lot of times she also makes like blackberry jams and stuff that is readily accessible right around here. She made cranberry jalapeno jam that was so good. It made me want to cry. I used it on toast and I used it on other things that you'd use jam on, but then it had that zing. But I made kind of like a Thai dish, sort of a pad Thai-ish kind of dish, and I used it in the sauce for the pad Thai or ish dish. And oh my gosh, it was so good because it was like sweet and spicy. And I'm actually salivating right now. So okay. Um, let's see. I need a little sign like people put on the dishwasher, clean, dirty only. Karens can say vac no vac, right? Yeah, there's like a no vacuum sign on my studio. Don't do it. There's probably like a kind of nauseating amount of silver in the rug also. I should really like be filtering it so that I can redo the silver as well, because a lot of filings go down to the floor, which I should be much better about reclaiming. Um, what do we have here? Once I'm done paying for a particular Aussie man to come to the States, paying for a wedding, and paying to go to New Zealand, then the dang cabber can get considered too many priorities. Oh gosh, I hear you. All right, and so we are asking, do you guys get silk in your sapphires over in the States? And I believe we do. And this is another one that I'm hoping Theo is going to answer. With stones like these, I always window with my 3K disc. It may look good on the outside, but they can be really hard to get accurate idea through the crust. Okay, excellent. So there is my answer, and I'll be doing some preforming then with you suggest 3K, like skip to that as opposed to using your 600. And this is the kind of conversation that you guys we have at, about now o'clock through to about 2 a.m. any given evening. This is like me and Theo going back and forth. Pad Thai, that's my jam. You can have jam in your Pad Thai too. It's crazy. Yeah, I love Pad Thai. I love drunken noodles. I love spicy basil, like holy basil. Oh, I basically love any kind of Thai food you want to like throw at my mouth hole. I love it so much. And we're willing to drive quite some distance to go get the really, really good. Oh my gosh. Pomegranate it's definitely my top 3 favorite fruits. I am so jealous. I love pomegranates so much. If you guys ever look at me and I have like dark stained fingernails, it's from when I'm either printing or I'm doing a lot of polishing, and you just can't get it out. But yeah, the pomegranates usually do that to my fingernails when I'm just like, peeling them and just going at it. Um, okay, and so we get to show Rookie our neck of the woods, and then in February, Ricky gets to show those guys his, and that's going to be such a neat thing to see. How exciting that you guys get to go out there and hang out with Ricky. That's going to be awesome, and that he gets to hang out with us out here. Yay! Um, And whoa. Can one of you smarties explain what the silk is and what heat treating it does to said silk? Awesome. Hmm. So, um, here we go. So silk is a transparentish strand-like structure inside the sapphires. It's cool, but it can majorly affect clarity. So heat treating actually melts those strands to increase the clarity. And so it sounds like they don't get baked enough in the in the earth in the creation process. And so just a touch more heat will get them there, and they also turn different colors. As you guys know, that's one of the ways of enhancing the colors. These guys that I have out here are some natural sapphires, and some people don't even know that they don't just come in blue. You know, they come in pinks and yellows and greens, and I think aqua colors, as well as, of course, the blues that you kind of come to expect. And Turtle Montana says, my wife and I took a couples cooking class with Jet Tilla and we made his pad thai. That sounds very good. Again, I'm getting like super, super hungry at this point. Um, and Manny is, whoops. Yeah, wait. Oh, that's, it moved on me. I think that the silk is actually really fine rutile, but I could be wrong. Interesting. Well, I'm wondering if, let's see, Theo says the silk in Montana Sapphire is actually clear rutile. Okay, excellent. So now we have a concurrence on that. Excellent. Wow. And there's black sapphires too. Woo. You know, and yet I'm wondering, like, the black sapphires, are they as sexy as the rest of the sapphires, or are they kinda like Shoral, you know, where, like, I would love to have any color tourmaline, and then black tourmaline is very, very cool, but as far as gem making goes, maybe not quite as good. And so we have looked at the sapphires, we have ascertained that even though they look very clear from this vantage point, that perhaps we need to do the uh, forming on them in order to find out if these are going to be good candidates, and we'll find out if there is silk inside these guys as well. So what I think will happen as far as that's concerned, and so you see my little those are all the winners, so that we get to perform those for sure, and then we will look again at some of those sapphires, that'll definitely happen. Not entirely sure exactly when for the sapphires because those make me a little bit more nervous. I have to work up to those. Although I actually can't wait. And Mr. Theo says, whoops, that's not Mr. Theo. This is the one. I love my purple sapphires. They are on another level. I thought they'd just look like amethyst, but they so do not. Yeah, purple isn't just purple. You definitely have some different values. And with the different refractive indexes, you have some really, really interesting different, you know, like the purple in tanzanite isn't a purple that you would find in amethyst either. And so I do love these different stones so much. And making the gemstones, there's just nothing like watching one of those things unfurl like a flower in your face. I love it. And so here we have Karen. Wait till I send you my terminated black tourmaline to turn into a ring. You're right. You're right. That is so cool looking. Okay, I stand corrected. I sit corrected at this exact moment in time. Karen, you got a 1.7 carat sapphire coming at you. Ooh, I will definitely cut it. So this is great. I can work out any of the bugs and figure out if I have the right system. Because those of you that don't cut the gems yet, we're gonna have you faceting at some point. Hopefully, all of you. But those of you who haven't cut some different kinds of gems yet, uh, each one kind of has a different recipe that works best with cutting it. And so, you know, some of them just like, okay, just throw the diamond, laps at it, and then maybe some diamond paste, and then on a tin lap or what have you, and then some cerium or some aluminum oxide or some higher diamond paste on yet a different kind of lap, and yada yada yada. So I need to find out if my setup that I have is going to be great for the sapphire. So far, so good with like tourmaline and topaz and peridot and oh gosh, garnet, and of course the sunstones. Like I'm set up to do sunstones, and then I have some variations off of that theme with some different other kinds of laps, but not very many. And so we'll see if my sapphires are going to like what I have to throw at them, and then other than that, I might have to add to my lapidary quiver, which don't worry, I can't wait to do more. So, let's see. Oh, the critical angle adjustments. This is something also, with the designs that you choose to cut, they definitely want to be good angles for the stone that you're working with. So I think it's 1.53 or something like that for the sunstone, 1.52 to 3, something like that. And so you're looking for all the indices that will work. And so like the quartz is 1.54, and so the stuff that works for that probably going to be good for your sunstones, like close enough. And yeah, they all have different ones. And so thank you, Theo. I'll definitely need that for sure. And so here we are. We've looked at the stones. I will schedule to do some faceting with y'all all, and then here at the end, I'm going to go ahead and also make an announcement here that I did open up the membership side of my channel on account that I had enough people that were hoping that I finally have caved. Now, right now, I think that there's like 3 membership levels because YouTube kind of gives you that opportunity. And so I figured, okay, whatever. So there's a few different ways to play. Y'all are gonna not be I'm not going to do less on this side of the channel, but I'm going to throw some extras over on that side so it makes it a little bit more worth your time. And so what I do need to know is what you guys would like. And so I thought that, some of the not rock walks that I do that are more geology rocks and walks and stuff like that, beach hunts and stuff, I will do with the members, because that's not necessarily channel oriented, but I think that the members, you guys kind of dig what it is that like we do, and so you might be more interested in like taking a walk on Yaquina Head with me and talking about the basalt geology and kind of doing stuff like that. And so I'll have live streams like that are kind of on that side, and some videos and some updates and some pictures, like goofy shots, outtakes, stuff like that. That's what's going to go over on the member side, so that people don't feel like there's any exclusive or exclusionary stuff, just that there's sort of extras over on that side. And so I'm going to start propagating that. There's like one post over there right now because I think I started it, like I got it all passed through YouTube last night. And so I'll put up a video, some kind of crazy welcoming video for you guys, and I'll go from there. But I really want to thank all of you guys for supporting the channel in any way that you do. So just watching is like all that's ever, asked, or like what can I do for you kind of thing. Watching is great. Whenever you put the thumbs up or leave a comment or hang out in the chat, that's supporting the channel, so you don't have to do anything extra, and don't feel like you do ever. But if you want to, then there's always like, you could like pitch this that buys me a coffee, or definitely helps to subsidize some of the monthly costs of running this thing. And so again, by popular demand, it took me the longest time to even consider doing it, because I I don't want to, I feel weird like asking or anything like that. And so I just appreciate you guys so much, and enough of you said like, please do this, and so I acquiesce to your request, but I want to make it worth your while. So over there, actually, the one post is asking you, what can I do for you? And you can put your votes as far as like, what do you want to see more of? And, just throw us bloopers or whatever. Give me the ideas that will make that side of the channel fun for you guys, and I'll do it. And so with that, I would love to look at, I didn't even hardly drink my Steinkern, you guys. I'm not properly hydrated. Thank you so much, Bob. Look at that. Bob became a member. Thank you. I really, really appreciate you. And we've got little Steinkern icons for the membership, and so you get a shell next to your name, and as it ages, I guess it changes. Kind of like those of you who are part of Kyle's channel have probably seen this transpire. You get like the different gnome. I've got different shells, and you even get like a crab. We get like into rarer finds as we go along, and so as you're around for longer, you get like the different icons. And so I sure do appreciate that very, very much. Um and like I said, you guys, nobody, like, don't feel bad if you can't or don't or whatever. I like, it's not an expectation. I just, like I said, thought I'd offer it since so many people had been suggesting it. And members only jacket. Oh. Man, if I could find one in a retail or a used a vintage store, like, I haven't heard that for a while. That's hilarious. And thank you so much, everybody, for your support. I'm seeing like so many supportive things. A members only white lab coat. I need the white lab coat. Somebody was suggesting that I needed that already. The micro niche channel. Right. Oh dear. I don't want that. It should be for everybody. Just keep on doing what you're doing. I really appreciate that. That's great. Great feedback. Let's all drink. Steinkern. I can even hear it in my voice. Now let's see. We've got Bob's Rocks, and I see another one. Oh, yay, thank you. We have new shells, new members of the Steinkern family. Thank you. And you guys, I love you. I love y'all for everything that you do. And so we'll keep on having fun. The faceting will be a live stream, and it'll be for everybody. And I'll keep all the everybody stuff as everybody gets. And Jake says, video of Karen digging silver and gems out of her carpet. That could definitely happen. You guys would be so, like, we could go rock hounding in my carpet. We really could. I've got Berber down there. It really should become a polishing wheel, although I think it's quite contaminated at this point. And John says, I'm reminded of the old adage, I'm not an athlete, but I can be an athletic supporter. What? Yeah. Heard that. And thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I want a wassail fossil icon with Safuncles. Yeah, Jenny, I'm going to have to definitely make the Safuncular icon. If you know, you know, right? Cheers to all the Safuncles out there. Oh my gosh, I love it. Talk about members only. Oh my gosh, that's great. Yeah. Dating ourselves. And Melissa says Safunkel sounds like that relative you don't want getting drunk at your parties yet. Safunkel Bill, stop. Oh, this is really cool. Nice. So Mr. Turtle Montana just gifted 5 Ozone Fine Art memberships to folks. And that's cool. At Kyle's, you can see them. I'm hoping that you guys can see the gifted memberships. I don't have the other one open right now, the live stream on YouTube, because it always causes like auditory friction, and it always seems like I have trouble when I have them both going on at the same time. So thank you so much, Mr. Turtle Montana, for adding more Sufunculars to our fun little family. I really appreciate that. But the here's money. Just the money part. I appreciate that too, Theo. Cheers to you. Cheers to all of you. You guys are the best. Let's ring the bell. Oh my gosh. Hopefully, we'll all be ringing bells soon in each other's presence, and on microzones that have all of us on it. We could have like a macro microzone. That would be super cool. I love it. Oh, look at people's people's your names are changing colors. This is so much fun to watch. Michelle, Melissa is a shell. I almost amalgamated that. That is so cool. Yeah, the white microzone lab coat. Yeah, that was you too. I know I need that. I even had gone shopping on Amazon to buy one, and for some reason like life got in the way and I didn't get that. So I'm gonna have to get that, and I'll have to get the ozone logo for that as well. Thank you so much, Theo. Thank you for being here. Steinkerns to you. Have a good evening. I know I'll be talking to you more. I'm probably going to get like another diagram dump and refractive index information here shortly. Yay, woohoo. Thank you. You guys are all the best. And oh, look at and mom too. Hugs and good night, mom. You guys are all awesome. I really appreciate you. So, uh, we'll see you around all the interwebs over the weekend, over at Kyle's Live, over at Theo's premiere for his killer video on the Ammonite. We'll see you at everybody else's premieres and lives as well over the course of the weekend. If you do have one coming up over this weekend, definitely post it here in the chat or down in the comments so that everybody knows that it's coming up, or over on our Discord, where you are welcome to do all these things all at the same time all week long. So join us there for the madness. We have a new channel that's going to go up at the Discord. It's going to be about microscopes. It's going to be your own little microzone over there on the Discord as well. Thanks to Cynthia's great idea. And and Theo is here we go live tomorrow at 7 p.m. New video at 10 a.m. for you. And that 10 a.m. would be mountain time, I believe. And so over here on the Pacific coast, that would be at 9 a.m., bright and early. And then 7 p.m., which is 6 p.m. for us guys. We are going to be having a live sale, it sounds like. So that is going to be so much fun, Theo. Thank you so much for the announcement. We definitely needed to hear that and save some money so that you can buy some of that stuff. It's the Rookie Rockhound Get Out to the West Coast, or rather the United States Fund. Thank you for that. And Avia Raka is another new member. Yay! We are full of wonderful sufuncularity here. We are the coolest ever. And Melissa did just post up our Discord link. And so that is good for 48 hours. If you are watching and want to join our Discord, that is the way in for the next little while. And then we have over there Sierra Hounder 99. Thank you so much. And thanks for coming. And Melissa and Jenny, sales all day on Saturday. I know it's going to be dangerous for everybody's wallets. Get ready for that. Have a garage sale, whatever you need to do, make some funds. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Here we've got that. Karen's Fastics are magic. Thank you so much, Tiger Eye, seriously, for all of your incredible support. You have been so fabulous to this channel. Really, really appreciate you. You guys know I love you all. I seriously do. Totally Safuncular, dude. Safuncular Steinkerns. Now we have our own language entirely. All right. With that, I'm gonna send you guys out with our favorite videos. This is gonna get updated for our next live, and that shouldn't be too far away. I'll do the informal faceting live. I promise. I got to get ready to be able to do that. Like, I'm going to work. I'm not just going to chat the whole time. I'm actually going to get work done. Oh, yeah. And I got to ring this bell. Yay. Thank you, Tiger Eye. And again, you guys know that I love you. And here is our outro that gives you guys all some love. And we will see you next time. Take care of yourself. Cheers, rock on, and have a great weekend.